It's really interesting that the president of DC Films is talking about the future of the DC multiverse and including things like Earth 1 and Earth 2 to describe upcoming projects. So let's get to what this ultimately means for the long run. So it was many shocking scenes in Crisis on Infinite Earths that showed us that all of these live action properties all do occupy the same multiverse, that we can literally end up in any one depending on what they decide to do. And it was even more shocking when we saw the DCEU version of The Flash, played by Ezra Miller, show up over on the CW. That confirmed that pretty much everything is out the window now and they can do anything. Recently, Walter Hamada opened up about multiple things that's in regards to the future and the past in regards to the DC films and TV and how they further want to explore these. And when talking about continuing adventures in the DCEU, he said that those adventures would continue, and I quote, continued their adventures on Earth 1, while other characters like Robert Pattinson's Batman will populate Earth 2, and so forth. So I think right here you start to get the idea of what they're saying and what they're going for and how they're going to start describing multiple things. And I think once we get to the Flashpoint movie, we're going to have a bigger idea and a bigger picture. And it's really not going to surprise me if we get a scene where Flash is like mapping out the multiverse and what he's seen, and they put themselves as Earth 1. Why? Because that's the one he's from. That's always going to be your primary Earth 1. And then he ends up somewhere else and it's like, oh, this is Earth 89. Let's just call it that for the sake of ease, because that's where Michael Keaton's Batman is. And then Earth 2, like Hamada said, is Robert Pattinson's Batman. And I think eventually they want to get to the point where you have multiple films and continuities within each one with some connective tissue, and you really do understand that if you watch it all, it's a little bit richer, but you don't necessarily need to watch it all. And I would argue that that's sort of the success that Marvel Studios has found, because if you look at them, you don't have to watch all the Ant-Man films, you don't have to watch Guardians, but if you do, they enhance it, but they're not crucial in understanding and making everything better. So I think they're going to take that same approach and give it a couple years with what they're teasing with the multiverse as approaches. I think we're definitely going to be seeing a sort of a convergence of everything, if you will, where they can just pull off anything and do anything. And we still don't know how Flashpoint is going to end. I mean, the theories are still out there and they're valid. Could Robert Pattinson at the end be the Batman of that universe and everything converges? I think so.